Have you ever stumbled upon a Chinese cooking video? The oil is bubbling, the wok is sizzling, and the chef casually dumps half a bottle of oil just to stir fry a handful of vegetables, and you're sitting there thinking, wait, why is there so much oil? Aren't they worried about heart disease, about cholesterol? How do they eat like that every day and still survive? Well, here's the thing. That's not an exaggeration. From the bustling streets of Shanghai to the quiet rural villages in Guizhou or Heilongjiang, oil and fat are everywhere in Chinese cooking. But it's not just about taste. It's not just because they love fried food. No, behind all that sizzling oil is a story that goes back thousands of years. A story shaped by geography, climate, survival, tradition, and even ancient philosophy. So today, we're diving into a question you've probably asked at least once. Why do Chinese people eat so much oil and fat? It might sound simple, but the answer, it's way deeper and way more fascinating than you think. To truly understand why oil plays such a big role in Chinese cuisine, we need to look beyond the kitchen and zoom out to the map. China is huge. We're talking over 3.7 million square miles, with deserts in the north, tropical forests in the south, freezing winters in the northeast, and humid heat in the southeast. And for centuries, people had to adapt their food to survive in each of these climates. Let's start up north, places like Heilongjiang and Inner Mongolia, where winter temperatures drop below -20 degrees Fahrenheit, -30 degrees Celsius. In that kind of cold, food isn't just about taste, it's about fuel. Oil and fat were essential, not for flavor, for calories. Take this dish from northeast China, braised pork in pork fat, slow cooked for 4 to 5 hours until it becomes melt-in-your-mouth soft. One serving can pack over 800 calories just from the fat alone, and that's no accident. According to nutrition experts, a laborer in those freezing regions might need 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day just to function. And what's the cheapest, most efficient way to hit that number? Not vegetables, not rice, fat. Even baked goods were designed for survival. In North China's countryside, people created deep-fried wheat cakes made with flour, salt, and fried in boiling lard. One cake delivers around 400 calories, enough to fuel a farmer through an entire morning in the fields. Historical records from the Ming dynasty show that families in North China would store at least 10 kilograms of pork fat every winter, like a natural energy bank to make it through the cold. So when you ask, why so much oil? Well, up north it was literally a matter of survival. But while the north was freezing and hungry for fat, the south told a completely different story. Down in places like Guangdong, Hunan, and along the mighty Yangtze River Delta, the climate is warm, the soil is fertile, and nature is generous. Here, people didn't need to store animal fat to survive the winter. Instead, they turned to something else, plants. Southern China produces over 20 million tons of soybeans every year. And from those soybeans, they press out soybean oil, a golden liquid that would shape the flavors of southern cuisine for centuries. Let's take a bite of something simple yet iconic. Crispy river fish, straight from Dongting Lake in Hunan. The fish is cleaned, seasoned, and then deep-fried in hot soybean oil at 340 degrees Fahrenheit, 170 degrees Celsius, for 5 minutes until the skin is golden and crackling. It's crunchy on the outside, tender on the inside, and dripping with flavor. That one fish, weighing just over a pound, might require a cup of oil to fry properly, and no one's complaining. Because here, oil isn't just for survival, it's about texture, aroma, color, and it goes beyond fish. In Sichuan's mountainous regions, where families live over 10,000 feet above sea level, cooking with firewood is tough. So they developed a technique that's now world famous, stir-frying on high heat. Just a few spoonfuls of oil, a scorching wok, and 2 minutes, and boom, you've got crisp garlic greens that are still vibrant, fresh, and flavorful. Why oil? Because it transfers heat faster, cooks evenly, and locks in flavor without boiling vegetables into mush. So while the North used oil to fight the cold, the South used it to make food come alive. So up north, oil meant survival. Down south, it meant flavor. But across the entire country, through every dynasty, and decade, oil also meant something more. It meant prosperity, celebration, even love. You see, China's history hasn't always been one of abundance. For centuries, the people endured famine, war, and hardship. And in those dark times, oil, rich, glistening, calorie-dense oil, became a symbol of hope. If your table had oil, you were lucky. If your food was glistening, you were blessed. Let's talk about one of the most famous dishes in Chinese history, Peking duck. It was invented during the Yuan dynasty and perfected by imperial chefs. To make it right, the whole duck is first bathed in hot oil for nearly an hour. Then it's hung up to dry, letting the skin crisp into a golden sheet of crackling perfection. The final product? Glossy, golden, aromatic, like a painting you can eat. It was once a royal dish reserved for emperors. Today it's served at weddings, banquets, New Year feasts. And yet, it still carries that aura of luxury. Here's a mind-blowing stat. Over 3 million Peking ducks are sold every year in Beijing alone. That's 3 million litres of oil. Just for one dish, in one city. Oil became a status symbol, a way to show care, generosity, and good fortune. Because in Chinese tradition, food isn't just for feeding the body, it feeds the soul, the family, and even the ancestors. And oil, it makes the meal shine. But oil in Chinese food isn't just about survival, flavor, or even wealth. There's something deeper, something philosophical. Because in traditional Chinese culture, food isn't just nutrition, it's medicine, it's energy. It's a way to keep the universe in balance, starting with your own body. Let me explain. In ancient Chinese medicine, all foods are classified as either yin or yang, cold or hot, cooling or warming. Too much cold, your energy drops. You get sick. Too much heat, same story. The goal? Balance, harmony. Now here's the twist. Most vegetables, tofu and fish are considered yin, cooling. So what do you need to balance them out? Something yang, something warming. And guess what fits the bill perfectly? Oil, fat, heat. That's why Chinese stir-fried greens don't just get steamed. They're tossed in hot oil with garlic, both warming elements, to balance the cool nature of the vegetable. Same with tofu. You'll rarely see it served cold and plain. Instead, it's fried, braised, cooked in chili oil to restore harmony inside your body. Even chili oil itself, like the famous Sichuan chili oil, made by pouring 400 degrees Fahrenheit soybean oil over dried chili, Sichuan peppercorns, and sesame, is more than just a flavor bomb. It's a warming force used to stimulate blood flow, digestion, and internal energy. To Western eyes, it might look like overkill, but to Chinese philosophy, it's precision, it's balance. It's a deeply rooted belief that food can heal if made the right way. By now, we've seen how oil feeds the body, balances the energy, and symbolizes prosperity. But in Chinese cuisine, oil also does something magical. It makes food beautiful. Because for Chinese cooks, food isn't just something you eat, it's something you admire. There's a saying in Chinese culinary tradition, color, aroma, and taste all must be perfect. And guess what makes that happen? Oil. Let's take a simple dish, fried chicken in peanut oil. At exactly 320 degrees Fahrenheit, 160 degrees Celsius, the skin turns a golden amber. Shiny, almost glowing, like it belongs in a museum. Then the smell hits you, nutty, rich, mouth-watering. That aroma, carried by oil molecules rising in the steam. You smell it before you even see it. And then the taste. That signature Chinese richness, that soft crunch, that slight glisten on your lips. All thanks to oil. This isn't just about indulgence. It's about expression, about putting care and pride into every meal. In family gatherings, during Lunar New Year, at wedding banquets, the dishes served aren't just flavorful. They have to look right, smell amazing, and shine. That shimmer? That's oil doing its job. So while Western cooking often hides oil, drains it, dabs it, avoids it, Chinese cooking embraces it, elevates it, and celebrates it. Because in Chinese food culture, a dish that gleams with oil isn't greasy. It's generous, it's festive, it's beautiful. But as China stepped into the modern age, with skyscrapers, smartphones, and high-speed trains, something else arrived too: modern health problems. For generations, oil was survival, it was celebration. But now, it's becoming a health warning. Let's rewind a bit. In 1980, only 1% of Chinese adults were considered obese. Fast forward to 2023, and that number has skyrocketed to 16%, which means over 200 million people in China are living with obesity today. Type 2 diabetes affects over 120 million Chinese. Cardiovascular disease is responsible for 40% of deaths in urban areas. And one of the biggest culprits, excess oil consumption. A study from Tsinghua University revealed that the average Chinese adult consumes around 42 grams of cooking oil per day, twice the amount recommended by the World Health Organization. Suddenly, those beloved dishes, crispy pork belly, deep-fried fish, Sichuan hot pot, aren't just comfort food, they're red flags. The food that once meant strength and love now comes with a doctor's warning. Younger generations are starting to worry. Healthy eating movements are growing. Even government campaigns are urging people to eat less oil. But here's the twist: the love for oily food hasn't gone away. A 2023 survey in Beijing found that 72% of young adults still eat fried or stir-fried dishes at least 3 times a week, even though they know the risks. Because let's be honest, that golden crisp, that sizzling wok, that nostalgic, mouth-watering flavor, it's hard to let go. So now you know this isn't just about stir-fry, it's not just about calories or even taste. The oil in Chinese cooking is a story of adaptation, of resilience, of identity. From the frozen fields of the Northeast to the fiery kitchens of Sichuan, from humble fried buns to imperial Peking duck. Oil has been there every step of the way. It was a shield against harsh winters, a symbol of celebration, a tool of balance, a medium of beauty, and now, a controversial companion in the modern world. China may be modernizing at breakneck speed, but the bond between its people and their food runs deep, deeper than health trends, global headlines, or calorie counts. Because food isn't just fuel, it's culture, it's memory, it's love. And oil, yes, even oil, is part of that love. So the next time you see a Chinese dish glistening with golden sheen, don't just think, wow, that's a lot of oil. Instead think, that's 1,000 years of history sizzling on a plate. Would you dare to try these rich, fiery, oil-soaked masterpieces of Chinese cuisine? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more food stories from around the world.